Hi guys, Jacob Rees-Mogg seems to have a curious pleasure of being handed his knickerbockers by ladies with posh accents. So historian Dr. Tessa Dunlop appeared on Mogg's State of the Nation show on GB News, along with Brexiteer and now ex-MP John Redwood. The former Tory members of Parliament were attacking Rachel Reeves and what her future budget will look like. However, the issue of Brexit came up and Tessa mentioned Ireland and its tax rate, but also a Brexit benefit of sort, something that was a little bit uncomfortable for Mogg and Redwood. Take it away, Tessa.
I feel desperate sympathy for Rachel Reeves. It's interesting listening to John speak with such authority and actually off-air, both of you saying there hasn't been good economic growth for the last 15 years. And I just did my own little basic sums and I worked out that you'd both been in power for the last 14 of those 15. And then I listened earlier to the former Chief Secretary to the Treasury, David Laws, who spoke with great sympathy for the current Labour administration because he admitted that while he came into the coalition government in 2010 and there was fat that could be pared off the bone, there were legitimate savings that could be made with George Osborne's austerity. There are no savings that can be made at the moment because of the mess, forgive me, that your administration left. Part of the reason was this bonkers, ideological, economic wrecking Brexit where everybody lost their common national sense and we nosedived. And incidentally, just very quickly, last time I came on air here and I said to both of you, and there is an authority gap, you wear dark suits, you have an economic background, etc., etc. People are more likely to believe you, even sometimes me. I sat here and I said, oh, look at Dublin. And the way in which it's flourished like a phoenix from the flames in recovering since the 2008 crash in comparison with Northern Ireland and shrinking Belfast. And immediately John said, that is because of the low corporation tax. I go home, yes, that is true. It was the initial reason why Dublin sprung ahead. But then the second spike in the graph was when they claimed all the people leaving London, the exodus in the wake of Brexit.
It's actually that they massively cut public expenditure in response to that.
No, Jacob, it's because of your Brexit, along with John Redwood. Tessa is completely correct here. I love this lady. You know, you sold the public this idea that it would be great for the UK, be great for the economy if we leave the European Union. All this investment would come flooding in. All these businesses would move to Britain because of its low taxes or its low regulations or all of these things. And what happened? We saw a lot of businesses move to Ireland. We saw a lot of businesses move to the Netherlands, to France, and other parts of the European Union. Brexit was not a success. It's the opposite of a success. And now the new Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, is going to have to make difficult decisions, going to have to cut certain things. I think she shouldn't do that, but look at what the Tories have left behind. Austerity and Brexit, both a massive drag on the economy, both a massive drag on public services. Now, austerity can be somewhat undone, but Brexit, well, it's a bit more difficult than that. So it's important that people like Mogg and John Redwood are called out on this, because they're the architects of that disaster. And they're still not owning up to that. They're not saying, actually, we were wrong. No, they're doubling down. They're saying we were right. It's not been implemented correctly. We're not taking advantage of the Brexit benefits. Now, when they're asked what are these Brexit benefits, they talk about reducing regulations. Well, we saw the consequence of reducing regulations. Look at what's happening to the rivers and lakes. Look at what happened to Grenfell when it came to reducing regulations, not imposing regulations correctly. When it comes to the single market, if you want to sell into the single market, you either are a rule maker or a rule taker. Of course, Britain is now a rule taker. It's no longer writing the rules. It's not writing rules that are beneficial to Britain. It has to follow those rules. Jacob Rees-Mogg, when he was business secretary, was talking about having an open border with the European Union because it would be too expensive to carry out checks necessary on goods coming into Britain. So he was advocating for an open border. Isn't it so ironic that Brexiteers are so of the idea of open borders when it comes to goods, but don't want any we don't want any checks on goods coming in, but if it's people, yeah, we want to close the border completely. So it's important that they're called out. But unfortunately, it doesn't have that much of an impact on them because they're in a hole. They're ideological. They're doubling down. They can't admit that they were wrong. They can't admit that their ideology is flawed. So well done, Tessa, for calling them out, and may it long continue. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.